So Daniel, reasonable day yesterday. You're in the top 10, lining up in P8. What can we expect from that?
I don't know. I missed you actually.
I've not seen you since last year.
I know. Oh, it's good to see you. You look well. You got some colour.
Thank you very much. I've had my hair done.
All right. Yeah, it was a pretty good day. Like, yeah, 8th I felt like was what we got, what all we could get out of the car. So I think 6 is up for grabs. It's going to be close, but I think if we execute a perfect race, 6 would be a pretty awesome result.
And in terms of where you are at this point in the season, race 4, a bit of a mixed bag in the first few races. Where's your mind at on the what's coming in development and the racetracks that we're going to in the future?
Yeah, I think obviously the next here and then Barcelona, very kind of high-speed flowing circuits, so it's going to be pretty similar, I would say. We might have a few more updates coming, but yeah, bits and pieces. But then I guess for the next lot, what would then be after the summer break, which is normally where it is, I think like circuits like Spa, Monza, we might have a bit more there. So we'll see.
Now, you have won Grand Prix, so I wonder if you can just explain to the people at home the difference between a winning Grand Prix car's feel and the situation you have right now where you're
easier. It's easier.
Yeah, so tell
Lewis and Valtteri have it very easy.
But that's interesting because actually I found when I got in a winning car, they were quite on edge, but of course the lap time was there. So is that actually how you feel it? So this thing is on a knife edge, or how do you explain it?
To be honest, I think any vehicle we push to the limit, anything on the limit is tricky. You know, it's like finding that knife edge. So yes, you know, I joked about the Mercedes, but you know, for them to get the absolute most out of that car, they're going to be fighting it as well. So I think any car you're pushing to the limit, it's never going to be comfortable. I think the high-speed corners, you know, you said they got a bit more downforce, so they can get through like Cops. I'm sure they're flat there. We had a bit of a lift yesterday, so that's easier for them.
Man, you're one of the bravest guys I know.
I tried.
I tried.
I tried it. I was nearly facing the other way. So
high-speed tank slap at 180 miles an hour.
It tickled. But no, we're good to go. We'll have some fun today. Hopefully, put on a show for the fans that are not here today.
Yeah. Well, Daniel, glad to see that. I still can't see you smile, but all the best for the race.
Thanks, mate.
Thanks, man.
Hello, DC.
Esteban, how are you?
Very good.
Yeah, good to see you. This is my first time at the track, but we've been watching you, we've been commentating on you from our studio, and well, it's been going pretty well. You must be happy to be back behind the wheel, and you've got one of the great benchmarks in Formula One to be alongside. So happy with the journey?
Yeah, happy with the comeback. You know, for this season, it's been for sure a long time that I was waiting for that. Being in Silverstone is fantastic. Obviously, we are missing, you know, the atmosphere with all the fans, with everyone cheering for us. But it's great, you know, to drive those cars again in such a fantastic track.
So, an opportunity for you to say a few words in your own language to the viewers around the world.
Bien sûr. Non, je pense qu'on a une bonne opportunité aujourd'hui. Voilà, on part dans les points, ce qui est déjà très bien comparé à Budapest où on a fait une bonne amélioration avec la voiture. Donc voilà, on va essayer de continuer. On est déjà, comme je l'ai dit, dans les points, donc on va pousser pour gagner quelques places et essayer d'y rester.
Très bien. Bonne chance.
Merci.
Kevin, we'll start with you. How was yesterday? I mean, I was watching, and through the high-speed stuff, it actually looked pretty good.
Yeah, I mean, the car is actually pretty good to drive, and especially as you said, through the high-speed corners, we've got pretty decent cornering speeds. So it's just it's a tough track because there's a lot of straight line, and you know we're not that quick on the straight line. So yeah, we'll see what we can do in the race. Try and get a good first lap, and try and gain a few positions and see if we can hang on to it.
Yeah, because obviously you guys are quite far outside the top 10, but you can choose your strategy. I'm sure the guys inside the top 10, it's going to be tricky to do a one-stop, which is beneficial for you guys.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, there's a couple of guys, four or five guys in the top 10 that will have to, you know, pit earlier than us, and then you can hope for a safety car at the right time and all that stuff. But yeah, we're starting P14, which isn't that far out of the top 10. So with a very good first lap, maybe we can squeeze into the top 10.
So you guys with strategy did a really good job at the last race. So you know the guys are on top of strategy here.
Say that again.
I said you guys did a really good strategy at the last race.
Yeah.
Obviously, it was your fantastic driving.
yeah.
But your guys are on top of strategy.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, we did well. The team, we all did a very good job last weekend, and yeah, all down to that strategy at the beginning. But obviously, well, I guess it could. Fingers crossed.
You never know in the UK.
Yeah.
Would you like to say something in your own language?
Ja, håber på en god start. Håber på, at vi kan holde dækken i live. Mest af alt prøve at få en god første omgang og prøve at komme ind i top.
Roman, tough day yesterday.
Yeah, I mean, I wasn't happy with myself in quali. I think FP3 went really well, and I had confidence in the car, so I wanted to push it in quali, and obviously got one time deleted at turn 9, and the last attempt at a big snap in turn 4 with the tailwind. So I really didn't get the quali that I should have, and I'm hoping that today it's a better day.
Is it really difficult here with the circuit limits?
I mean, everywhere it is, because when you put asphalt, we want to use it as much as we can, and it's finding that right limit between the being off track and not. But I think now the system looks quite good, and yes, I was off by maybe 10 centimeters, but I was off. So it's painful at the time, but then it's the rule.
Would you like to say something in your own language?
Non, effectivement, hier, je pense que j'aurais pu faire mieux en qualif. Après les essais libres 3, j'étais plutôt en confiance avec la voiture et j'ai voulu attaquer. Malheureusement, un tour a été annulé suite à la limite de piste, et le tour suivant, j'ai pris un gros survirage au 4 qui a coûté pas mal de temps. Donc j'espère qu'aujourd'hui on aura une meilleure course, et je pense qu'on a une voiture qui devrait être pas trop mal. Thank you.
So Nico, I'm sure at this point you're exhausted answering all the questions about what it's like to be dealing with a last-minute call-up. So let's focus on what a great job you did yesterday under the circumstances, and put us in the cockpit. Where were you a little bit rusty, if I can put it like that, and where do you think you just missed it?
Yeah, I mean, it's just been tricky and a challenge, and today, to be honest, I think it's the most challenging, and it's going to be the hardest race of my career. Coming in so short notice, no preparation really, everything new and different, and the physical aspect too, which is very tough with 8-9 months without G-forces, and then the fastest track, most highest track of the season. So it's going to be a challenge, but also one that I look forward to, and be back on the grid, battle with these guys wheel to wheel is something that I definitely look forward to.
Yeah, that's going to be an adrenaline rush when you go off the line, so I wish you all the best with that. If all else fails, remember, you've still got your looks. Can you give us a few words in German for your national language, please?
Ja, es waren natürlich intensive Tage, und heute wird eins der härtesten und schwierigsten Rennen meiner Karriere, wegen natürlich keine Vorbereitungszeit, alles neu, die physische Seite auch, es ist extrem brutal, und mein Nacken ist natürlich nicht vorbereitet gewesen auf diese Situation, oder kann man sich auch nicht vorbereiten, weil diese Fahrfitness kriegt man nur im Auto. Von daher wird es hart, aber auch eine spannende Geschichte. Ich werde alles geben natürlich und freue mich wieder, Rennen fahren zu können, bisschen Racing Action und gleich wieder auf dem Grid zu stehen.
Lance, it really feels to me that this is the year where you've stepped up to that next level, and you look like you get what Formula One really takes. You had an incredible lower Formula career, but it is a step, isn't it, to understand the workload that's in Formula One, so you must be happy with the progress.
Yeah, I mean, a big part of it's the car. I've been in a pretty bad car for a couple of years, so this year, the team's done an incredible job at bringing this package to the first race, and we've just been extremely competitive. So yeah, it's very exciting. I'm looking forward to the rest of the season.
It's interesting you say that, obviously the car steps up, and as I know, because I was lucky to drive some good cars, it makes it so much easier. But in terms of your own personal development, we've seen your speed and consistency that you've had, but I was reaching out to you there because it feels to me that now it looks like you've got what it takes to be, a team leader rather than someone that's learning his way in Formula One. So, is that something that you're not even consciously aware of?
No, for sure. I mean, with experience, I think I've worked hard over, the last couple seasons at stepping up my game and working on my strengths and weaknesses. And for sure, that's just part of the learning curve. But I think it's a combination of things. This car really suits my driving style. There's been, things over the last couple of years that's really limited me from the balance of the car and, just the feeling behind the wheel. It's limited me to drive how I want to drive. And now this year I have a car under me that gives me a lot of confidence to attack the corners in the way I want to attack them. So it's really a combination of things, and the guys at the team have really helped me as well step up my game. And like I said, they've worked extremely hard at bringing this competitive package that we have, so it's awesome.
Yeah, no, it's great to see. I was talking with Mark Webber earlier, and we were just trying to imagine how painful this must be for Nico. Do you have any sympathy for him coming in after 8 months? You know how physically tough.
I feel for his neck. I'm sure he's going to be waking up pretty sore on tomorrow morning.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure. Yeah.
All the very best.
All right, thanks.
Thanks, Joanne.
Lewis, well, that was a pretty yesterday. I know it's not easy to hear me over your car, the pit stop, but it must feel very special starting pole position, home Grand Prix. I know it's not quite the same with the fans here, but it must mean a lot.
Definitely, it's nowhere near the same, but yeah, it's still great to start on pole at your home Grand Prix. There's no real better feeling other than obviously winning the Grand Prix. But as you can see, my guys back here just working as hard as they can to perfect the operation and the pit stop. And that's really why this team is the best. We've done it many times, but they just never stop training. They keep working, keep pushing to try and better the teamwork, and so we can win.
Yeah, I saw you watching them do the pit stop practice. You really understand the importance of that team effort.
Yeah, I think I don't know if people watching realize how much work goes into studying the pit stop and everyone's position, the strengths and weaknesses of everybody. Ultimately the goal is to get it below, a sub 2 second stop. And from my point of view, that's how quick I come in, how aligned I am, how far or short you are compared to where they're planning to go, can lose time. So accuracy is everything and consistency is everything. So yes, I try and do the best job, and ultimately I don't want to take them out with my bowling pins, because that's quite an easy thing to do.
Yeah, as you know, and you're going to feel when you go onto the grid, it's very weird that there's no one here. So I was wondering if you'd like to do something down the lens for the millions of fans that aren't here to support you, but normally would be.
How many people watching? I don't even know how many. It's difficult.
It's worldwide, millions and millions.
Oh, okay, millions and millions. Sound like Dr. Evil there. I just want to say a big thank you to everyone for their continued support. I do miss you here. It's crazy to see these grandstands empty, and I miss seeing the flags and just getting the vibe and the energy from you guys. So, but you're here in spirit, and we'll do everything we can to deliver a good result today. It's going to be a challenge. It's really windy. It's a big tailwind that this is. I can feel into turn 1. So that means the tailwind into turn 3, but then coming up to down to Stowe should be a headwind down there. So it's going to be tricky, and Valtteri's obviously very strong. I think the Red Bull looks like it's actually a lot closer in race pace. So it's not going to be smooth sailing today. It's going to take real precision and a perfect output from myself and the team. Oh.
Thanks, Lewis. Valtteri. Through Q1, Q2, Q3 didn't quite go to plan, but today you got to try and try and get back in Lewis in the race.
Yeah, of course, it's always only Sunday that you get or earn the points. So and yeah, still starting in the first row, anything is definitely possible. And I'm just really hungry and keen to get back on top in the points. That's the only thing I want. And yeah, now is a chance. So definitely will go all out.
And do you think because you guys had such a big advantage on the guys behind, you can do a different strategy? You can take more risks than normal?
Well, Well, I think we're still in quite early part of the season, so we're always going to calculate the risks. But yeah, for sure, if there's a chance, we go for it. But we feel like we have a good race car, and but the points, they don't come automatically, so we still need to be on the flag first and second, and we'll find the best way to do that.
Fantastic. Would you like to say something in your own language?
Kaikki valmista kisaa, kaikki valmistelut on tehty ja hyvä fiilis, että kakkospaikalta niin kaikki on todellakin mahdollista ja koitetaan voittaa kisa ja päästä taas MM-johtoon, se on tämän päivän tavoite ja kaikki tehdään sen eteen, mutta ei siinä sen kummempaa. Koitetaan saada hyvä lähtö ja kisavauhti on varmasti mulla hyvää, niin uskon, että pystytään hyvin taistelemaan, niin odotan kyllä. Cheers, mate.
So Charles, Seb, I'd say a reasonable day for you, Charles, yesterday, Seb, maybe a little more challenging, and then with the grid adjustment, you'll be in P10. But if I start with you, Charles, great circuit to drive, put us inside the cockpit. How good and how balanced did you manage to get your lap together?
Yeah, it felt very good yesterday, especially the balance. I've had quite a clean weekend, so I could build up to the balance I wanted from F1 to quali, and I find the right car for quali, especially on that last run in Q3. I was very happy with the car, and I managed to do a great lap, which puts us on P4, and which is a lot better than what we will have thought. But today is another story. I mean, we are quite low in terms of downforce, which is why we are quick on the straights, but we are struggling more in the corners, so we might struggle a bit more with the time management during the race.
Seb, you've had all sorts of technical issues going through this run through qualifying. Even with your experience, that does interrupt your program. So a little bit frustrated, or you just bank that and now focus on the race?
It does. Obviously on a track like this in particular, because around here you need to get into the flow, into the rhythm, and exactly what Charles described. You know, I didn't have that build-up. I didn't have a great feel, so I couldn't really go with the grip, run by run in qualifying, and didn't manage to put a good lap in. So we're starting a bit further back, but I'm looking forward to the race, to have more laps and more time in the car, and then see what we can do. I think we should have a fun race where we are, a lot of people to race around me, so yeah, looking forward to that.
It's very competitive, that area of the grid. Weather looks, let's say, somewhat stable apart from the wind. What can you realistically do from there? Strategy might be limited if most people are doing one stop.
It depends on what's happening in the race. I mean, weather we don't expect rain, but we are in the UK, so it could always rain. This would mix things up, but even without, you never know. You know, maybe a safety car at the right time, wrong time can mix things up as well. So I think we have to be open-minded. I mean, obviously we're starting 10th. I'm not expecting miracles and finishing on the podium, but I think, ideally make up a couple of places, race people around me, and come out in front of them. So.
Well, you mentioned the podium, Charles. You're starting much closer to the podium, but the pace of the Red Bull and race run is still a bit beyond where you are right now. So you just have to roll the dice.
Yeah, realistically, I think going for the podium will be very difficult if there are no problems in front. Pace-wise, we are not at the level of Red Bull and neither Mercedes, so we need to work a bit more on that, but we'll try everything to keep our fourth place.
Okay, now a word in your own language, please.
Sorry?
A few words in your own language for your many fans around the world.
Oui, je pars 4e aujourd'hui. On a eu une très bonne qualif hier et un bon week-end en général. En regardant le début de saison, c'est peut-être la meilleure perfo qu'on a eu depuis le début de saison sur un week-end de course. Mais bon, je m'attends à une course quand même très compliquée. On n'a pas beaucoup d'appui aérodynamique ce week-end pour essayer de rattraper un peu du temps dans la ligne droite, mais c'est plus compliqué pour nous pour gérer les pneus. Donc la course va être un petit peu plus compliquée, mais je vais tout donner.
Merci. Sebastian, a few words in German.
Ja, ich hoffe, dass ich heute ein bisschen mehr Spaß habe als gestern. Ich glaube, bis jetzt war es kein einfaches Wochenende, ein bisschen auf und ab. Und ich hoffe, dass wir heute ein gutes Rennen haben, einen guten Start. Ich denke, es ist ein sehr eng umkämpftes Mittelfeld und bereit sind, wenn es irgendeine Möglichkeit gibt, da was Cleveres zu reißen, dass wir auch wach genug sind. Und der Rest wird sich dann heute Nachmittag zeigen. Aber ich freue mich auf jeden Fall drauf.
Dankeschön.
Alex, must have been tricky going to bed last night, you know, after qualifying. Wasn't quite what you wanted, but you do have choice of tyres today.
Yeah.
You're becoming the comeback thing.
Yeah, I was saying it must be a bit too many times, but yeah, obviously free tyre choice degradation was pretty high on Friday, so that's good. And we'll see, we've got to try and get through the pack pretty quickly, overtaking his. Okay, I think it's one of the tracks where you can do something, so yeah.
This circuit, as we all know, British drivers, well, British driver, also, it's pretty special when you go around the circuit and you see all the fans on the drivers' parade.
Yeah.
Instead, we're stood here in the pit lane talking about it, but it must be quite weird for you guys.
It feels like a ghost town, really. You know, it's like that kind of winter testing or filming day when you come around here and there's just nothing here. It obviously misses that character. I think that's what makes Silverstone as well so special. Having the fans, seeing all the British flags, even though debatable if they're for me or not. but yeah, no.
I think they've adopted you.
Great, thanks everyone. Cheers.
Yeah, well, good luck today. What are you hoping for?
Good points. I mean, we have to be realistic. Obviously, points are on the card. There are some people around us starting on soft, so we'll try to do the best job we can.
I saw you using the international sign of happiness a minute ago.
Yeah.
You seem excited about the race today.
Yeah, I mean, let's see what we can do. I hope I can follow them a little bit up front, and I hope we don't have too much pressure from behind, which is normally not the case. But yeah, I don't know what to expect, but we'll hopefully have a good one.
Yeah, I mean, the first lap is obviously pretty big. You seem to love the first lap and making moves. The two in front of you will be quite cautious, I think. So do you think that's an opportunity?
It is one opportunity. I mean, we are not well known for good starts lately, but yeah, see what happens. You know, the track is so wide, so many things can happen in turn 3 and 4, and even in 6. So yeah, let's just see. Also with the two guys up front, you know, they're fighting for the championship, so it can be interesting.
Yeah. Would you like to say something in your own language?
In my own language. Ja, hopelijk wordt het een mooie wedstrijd. We hebben normaal gezien niet de snelheid van de Mercedes-auto's, maar hopelijk kunnen we wat doen in de eerste ronde en dan zien we het wel.
So Carlos, reasonable day in the office yesterday, and it sets you up for a good opportunity come race day. So where's your mind at?
Yeah, no, I think we're in a good position going into today. I think we have a lot of very fast competitors, especially those starting on the mediums are going to be very difficult to hold off or to try and mount a challenge to them. But at the same time, we have a good position. We normally execute races very well, so hopefully we can have a good Sunday.
Strategy is always a dynamic thing. You know, you can't stay to any hard and fast plan. You're going to have to adapt. Given the nature of this racetrack and what we would expect as, largely speaking, a one-stop race, does that limit the opportunity for you to try and then make your way through the opposition?
Yeah, I think it's actually a track where overtaking the last few years has not been that difficult, probably because nowadays most of the corners are actually flat. So it's become like very long straights for us because of the downforce of the cars. At the same time, today it's going to be on the limit at one stop. I don't think it's going to be very easy to do a one stop. So there could be degradation. If you treat your tires well, you could create yourself opportunities. And it's going to be an interesting one, I think. Last year, I think it was one of the most exciting Grand Prix here, just to see how many fights there were on track, pure racing. So hopefully we can have the same one this year.
Well, we appreciate you giving us that insight that it might be tricky to do one stop. For the viewers at home, what else is something that's unique to Silverstone that you have to think about or prepare ahead of the Grand Prix?
Following in these Formula 1 cars is extremely difficult. You go into turn 1 in qualifying, you don't even look at the corner because it's easy flat. You don't even think about it. And when you follow a car, the car can give you massive snaps of oversteer, massive push understeers. So you have to be really tense on the cockpit and really alert to try and catch the dirty air that your car might have from the car in front, you know. Especially at the start, when there's the dirty air of 6 other cars, it becomes really, really, really tricky to handle a Formula 1 car. You even depend a bit on luck sometimes that you don't get a gust of wind or dirty air, no? So it's something that you need to be really, really switch on and alert, because it's pretty difficult.
Well, we hope you have that luck today. Could you now give a few words in Spanish, please?
Sí, creo que estamos en una posición muy buena de cara a mañana, creo que hemos hecho bien los deberes, estamos preparados para la carrera. También creo que va a ser una carrera complicada, sobre todo porque hay mucha gente que empieza con el neumático medio, que es bastante mejor para el primer stint, pero bueno, aún así vamos a intentar hacer una buena estrategia, intentar cuidar el neumático blando y ir hasta el final, ¿no? Así que a por ello.
So just jumping over to Lando, pretty good yesterday. It's been a good start to the season for you. I can almost see that smile below your mask. What are you expecting this afternoon?
What am I expecting? I think it's going to be a tough race for us. I think after looking at some of the GPS overlays from some of the other teams, the Ferrari, the Racing Point, they're going to be very quick, especially Stroll behind and possibly Nico as well. The Racing Point looks extremely quick, much quicker than us. So it kind of depends on the weather too. Obviously, being one of the first soft starters, it's not going to play into our favour if it gets too warm. So if it stays cold and windy, then it might help us a bit. But either way, it's going to be a fun race.
So it definitely feels like the wind is here to stay.
Yeah.
A little bit overcast, so probably temperatures are going to be a bit lower than we saw on Friday. That wind, though, that is something with the size of these Grand Prix cars. Just how critical will it be on full tanks and getting caught out in the Beckett's or some of these high-speed corners?
It's incredible. I think it's quite shocking. So Friday to Saturday was a huge change, and especially in Maggots and Beckett's, when you're having a tailwind through it. It feels quick, but then we went into Saturday and there was more of a headwind. Then it feels even quicker, and you really feel the 10 kph, 20 kph sometimes. Just from a small change in wind direction can make a massive difference to the feeling of the car. So it's very sensitive, the cars nowadays, but it's something obviously you know, but not many people get to experience. Is Maggots Beckett's in Formula 1 cars is something else.
Yeah, absolutely, well said. Well, we wish you luck today.
Cheers.
Thank you.
We'll start with you, Nicholas. Okay, yesterday, tough time in qualifying, losing the rear of the car.
Yeah, I really just got a bit too greedy on the throttle. Was just trying to set up a good run down there as we were flat through Copse, so long straight, and I just misjudged the grip, caught me out. Driver error, no excuse there. It's a shame as there was potential. I felt I could have still done quite a good lap, and George showed the potential was there to get into Q2 as well. So yeah, sorry for my side of the garage.
Yeah, the cars seem like they have a lot of grip until they don't.
Yeah.
You know, it doesn't just slowly come up on you, the oversteer. It's a massive snap.
Yeah, definitely. I think that was one of the tendencies from when they went to the 2017 kind of new generation of the cars. The limited grip is so much higher, and now when you go over it, it just really catches you off guard. And I think as well, combined with this track surface that is just so grippy, it's like even less forgiving. I found there wasn't so much the case in Austria and Budapest, for example, and here that was straight from FP1. I felt, yeah, now it is really much more on edge.
And your engineers and strategists, I'm guessing, have done a fantastic job to give you a good strategy for today.
Yeah, definitely. They're always trying to give us the best possible race time. You know, we are probably still going to be struggling a bit on the race pace. It's been a tendency the past 3 races. The qualifying performance has not been so bad, and then we seem to just bridge the gap a little bit in the wrong direction in the race. So yeah, we've done some work to try and understand that. Hopefully we can still have a good race, maybe get a bit lucky and pick up some pieces, but yeah, we're going to do what we can.
Hope you have a good one.
Thank you.
George.
Yes, sir.
British driver,
Absolutely.
British team
Absolutely.
at the British Grand Prix.
Yeah, tell me about it. I mean, it is, we always keep saying it's such a shame about the fans, you know, right now it would have been absolutely buzzing, and for us Brits it's just such a great feeling. So the atmosphere is not quite the same, it doesn't even quite feel like race day, it's so bizarre, but ready to go out there and have some fun.
It will feel like race day in about an hour.
I'm sure it definitely will when we're lining up on the grid and ready to go for it. But no, it'll be tricky today. It's always really windy here. It's gusty as well, which I think that's why we're seeing like quite a lot of mistakes, because you know the cars are so on the limit, and you suddenly get a big gust of wind, and you just lose it. So it'll be a tricky race. Just got to try and capitalise on others' mistakes, but you know, we've still got a bit of performance in the car, so we're going in the right direction.
Yesterday you obviously got the penalty for not lifting enough in qualifying, but I have to say, watching your quali laps this year, you've been properly on it. It's really good to see, and you are definitely getting the maximum out of this car.
Yeah, I'm trying. We, you know, it's great always on a Saturday. It's what I am most looking forward to every weekend I go to. It's just so fun having the car right on the limit, minimum fuel, new tyres. It's just such a great feeling, and it's gone really well so far on the Saturdays, but obviously you score the points on a Sunday, so that's where I need to start working on, and look forward to the coming races.
Do you want to give a little message down the lens to the fans?
So to all the fans who are watching at home, thanks for your support. We'll be going out there to put on a great show, and hope to see you soon. Cheers. Nice one, JB. See ya.
Comment ça va? Bien et toi? So Pierre, we made you walk up onto this very high pit lane actually relative to your garage, but anyway, a bit of warm up before the race.
Exactly.
How are you feeling?
Yeah, I'm feeling very good, very excited about the race. Yeah, Silverstone is one of my favorite tracks on the calendar. We have a good starting position, free tire choice for the race, so hopefully we can have a small advantage with that, and hopefully fight our way through the top 10. Yeah.
You did a time good enough for the top 10, but just unfortunately because someone else got there first, then as you say, that pops you into 11th, you get that tyre choice. When you mentioned the advantage of having the free tyre choice, what in real terms do you think that might give you? The power of you know, going longer, you're going to think about the undercut?
Yeah, it just gives you the flexibility depending what's happening, and yeah, we know against the Renault, McLaren in quite similar conditions we struggle because we're missing a bit of pace compared to them. So at least now I think with the different compound, hopefully we can either go longer, either go shorter. I think we have the flexibility to do it depending on what tire compound we're going to start with, and yeah, we'll see at the end what we can get, but yeah, hopefully a couple of points will be nice.
We spoke earlier to Nico Hoffenberg, who's been parachuted in here for one race after months out of a Grand Prix car. We saw during lockdown you were posting images of you training like like some sort of Olympian. So you know how fit you are and how tough a racetrack like this. You must feel for your racing colleague.
I do feel for him because yeah, even training really hard and really intensively, driving these cars now, they're so fast in high-speed corner that it's really challenging. So I don't know what he's been up to. I think he deserved to enjoy life a bit more than us recently, so I don't know how much preparation he had to before to jump in the car, but yeah, I believe it's not going to be an easy one for him, but yeah, hopefully he can enjoy, and yeah, I think he should get a pretty strong result, so yeah, let's see what he can do. Yeah.
Well, we wish you luck for today, and maybe a few words in French, please, for your native language.
Oui, du coup, non, on a une bonne position de départ sur la grille. On commence 11e, donc on a le choix pour les pneus. J'espère qu'on va pouvoir faire quelque chose et avoir un petit avantage avec ça et pouvoir se bagarrer avec les Renault et les McLaren qui sont, on va dire, un peu plus rapides que nous, mais avec nos pneus de départ, j'espère qu'on va pouvoir faire quelque chose et réussir à rattraper quelques points.
So Daniel, well, frustration for you going into this race. You've had to take a penalty for gearbox change. That really, when you've put a big effort during qualifying, it takes the wind out of your sails, quite literally.
Yeah, I didn't feel a lot of frustration, to be honest. I knew it already on Monday that I'm going to have a penalty, so I was going to the race anyway with this thing that I knew. And obviously qualifying lost a bit more sense for me, but we still try to do our best, try to put a clean laps in. It's always good to see how the car works in these conditions. It's important to give team as many laps as possible. And today in the race, like every Sunday, try to do our best with what we have, starting from the back, and hopefully we can put ourselves in condition to fight for points in the end of the race.
Okay, well, we wish you luck with that challenge.
Thank you.
Maybe a few words in Russian down the barrel, please.
Я буду стартовать с последнего ряда сегодня из-за пенализации, поэтому постараемся как можно больше наверстать позиции и попробуем побороться за очки.
Kimi, so not the day you were after yesterday. You've always gone so well around here, had some great results in the past. Yesterday, what happened?
Not much, obviously. I think we got a bit disturbed in the last corners in the other car, but nevertheless, I mean, we maybe would have been a few places higher up, but still didn't have enough speed for going through the Q2. I think generally the car behaving better, but still not fast enough. So obviously we have quite a bit of work to be done before we can be happy, but that's how it goes.
I watch you through Copse and Stowe. The car seems to be working pretty well.
Yeah, obviously we're losing quite a bit on the straights and on some corners, but there's nothing major issue. Like I said, it's actually been behaving quite nicely, but the lap time is just not where it should be, but let's see what we can do in the race. Usually we've been a bit better off in the race conditions, so we do the best that we can and try to get a good result.
Good to hear, Kimi. Anything in finish to say?
En tiedä, että katsotaan mitä saadaan kisassa aikaiseksi, että yleensä ollaan vähän parempia oltu, että toivottavasti pystytään taistelemaan.
Cheers, Kimi. So, how was it yesterday? I saw that you guys had a slight issue on track with placing the cars, but qualifying for you, how was it?
Yeah, it was. I think we did maximum we could, and I think compared to Hungaroring, we were a little bit more epic with the car, with the pace. Still not enough to to go to Q2, but today is is another day. I think the race pace for us is a little bit better, so we need to focus on the first lap to gain some position. After that, with a good strategy, we can try to achieve some good result and try to also score some points.
How does the car feel around Silverstone? I know that qualifying didn't go the way you wanted it to, but can you just explain how a Formula One car feels around a high-speed track like Silverstone?
It's unbelievable. I think yesterday pole lap was the average speed was more than 250. And something crazy, and also the neck you can feeling, and will be a long race today, so really physical as well, because like I said, the neck will be tough for the neck, and but it's always special to do one lap here in quali in Silverstone with this new car.
Okay, some words in Italian?
Sì, è stata una giornata diciamo positiva, abbiamo migliorato rispetto alle ultime gare in qualifica, ancora non abbastanza per andare in Q2, però oggi sarà un'altra giornata, dobbiamo cercare di stare fuori dai casini nel primo giro e poi cercare di fare il massimo per la gara e cercare di portare a casa qualche punto.
Grazie Antonio.
Ciao.